Right, I'm just going to start this video and get rolling. How are you doing, guys? Hello to all my subs. Hello to all the new subs, old and new, everybody that's been here for ages. Big special shout out to Si. Hi there, Simon. Thanks for the information this morning. Now, this video that I'm going to make, I reckon is going to be quite fun for me to make because of things that have happened in the past to do with this subject matter. Now, for many, many years, me at least 10, 11, maybe 12 years or so, I started to notice that the blue sky that I used to love looking at wasn't very blue anymore. And once I noticed online what people were talking about, I looked outside, and that was the first ever time I noticed the geoengineering. So it was in 2011. I remember looking outside the window here at the back of my garden, looking up, and there were planes like spraying and leaving lines and just spraying. And the next thing, I watched for absolutely hours, because this is what people online said. If you don't believe me, go and watch yourself and you do the research. So I did. Sat at my window. I was there literally hours. I remember I had a day off. I saw what they said online. I looked out of the window and I noticed it myself, and I carried on looking, and I watched these lines coming out of a plane. And it wasn't like when I was a kid and you saw a plane go by with this little chute of contrail and it would just go along with the plane. And I was thinking, what is this? It looks like a crop sprayer up there. I do remember thinking, I said, it's like they're crop spraying us. What's happening? So I carried on looking. And then these lines that they were spraying were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And next thing, they were joining in with each other. And the next thing, that the clouds in the sky was just all grey. And then we got a name for that. People that were researching it, we started to call it a whiteout. So when there was a whiteout in your area, it meant that there was a veil that was over that part of Earth, and they can really do it on a mass scale. This is being done. So there is a veil over Earth that stops the sun shining down on Earth. Now, I feel totally vindicated today because I have lost 2 jobs because of this subject. Some people may not know this on my channel, some do. Because I was studying geoengineering, aerosol injections, solar radiation management, all of these kinds of things, I was talking to people like, I was getting in touch with people like David Keith. I was talking to geoengineers and trying to get information with them, whilst also being called a contard, a chemtard, not contard, a chemtard. I was called a chemtard. I was trolled so heavily online to the point where they were sending stuff to my house. I was getting people knocking on my door. There was cars outside my house. I was really getting trolled, but I sat in my position. I didn't move my position. I didn't take myself out of the picture because I knew what I was seeing was making sense. What I then did, once I noticed all of this, I then went and looked at patents. I found patents. I found information about chemtrails. They were actually exotic weapons. All of this information is on my channel. Thankfully, it's still there now that I've got my channel reinstated. So flash forward, it's 2023. And for all of us that were talking about geoengineering, 2010, 2011, 2012, look what they did to us, guys. I can guarantee, even though this is now out in the public and Biden is talking about it, it's been spoken about here in the UK as well, yeah? Biden is now speaking about it, talking about geoengineering the world. I can guarantee you, I'm going to do this. You watch, this video is going to be uploaded. It's got facts in it. This is 100% facts, right? David Keith said that they were going to put a veil over Earth to cover Earth. And they were doing this aerosol spraying. Listen, I know I'm going on. Anyway. So, nowadays, it's not as hidden, but they are still trying to say that it's something that's not ongoing. So they are now going to try to say to you that the solution to global warming, or whatever they want to call it, is chemtrails and geoengineering. Now, let me tell you something. For years and years and years, our problem with the geoengineering has, with the lack of sun and lack of vitamin C, it makes a very unhealthy human. There are also nanoparticles that are left in this, because obviously there's something in it. It's got to be reflective particles if they want to reflect away the heat. So think about the substance that they're putting into the sky. There's the substance, there's the sun reflecting off it, and we're underneath it. So when that substance or the nanoparticles start to drop from that, which they do, what goes up must come down. And it's the same with this. All of these nanoparticles come down to Earth, right? They're coming down, they're getting into the earth, the water, the skin, the hair, the lungs, the eyes. It's the first time, it's not the first time because of my research, they're finding metal in human hair. There is metal lodged deep in our lungs when they're doing autopsies. They're finding plastics here, and they're finding metals deep in the lungs which shouldn't be there. Now, plastics and metals, yeah, where could they be coming from? Where could the nanoparticles of metal be coming from? Now, you didn't want to listen to me for the last 10 years because I just saw something wasn't right, spoke about it. Oh, now Jay's a nutcase. Jay's a nutcase. Have you seen what Jay's talking about? Have you seen what Jay's doing online? Have you seen what Jay's filming? Well, do you know what? Jay is vindicated, because you know what Jay was filming and seeing all this time? Jay was seeing the chemtrails. Jay was noticing the geoengineering. While you were all busy calling us nutcases, we were all making note of what they were doing to our world. And there were only a few people that had the guts enough to actually look up and say, yeah, you know what, that ain't right. There's information out there about patents. They can make it rain. They can stop the rain. They can do all of this stuff with technology, guys. So I'm going to go to my channel. Let me quickly go to my channel. And there is a video on my channel that is a very popular video. And I'm so grateful it's still there. I'm going to quickly show a piece of that now. And this video was called BBC Admit to Spraying Chemtrails. Now, I got trolled on this video. I've had to control the comments on that. This is my video.
I'm sure a lot of you have seen the video I added yesterday, which was a story from the BBC Science and Environment on the news website, and it was a story about geoengineering, and just one of the articles was saying that the 72% of the public have agreed to geoengineering. I'm just going to quickly explain.
Now check it, this is from 2011, 72% of us apparently were okay with them geoengineering, even though they were keeping it covert, apparently hidden above our heads. They were telling us that this was not happening whilst it was happening. So that's how they can fool people, but not all of us.
Explain to you what geoengineering is. Now, geoengineering is a way of making the sun stop shining on Earth and to reflect it away from Earth. That's what geoengineering is. And they're saying they're doing this because it's going to defeat global warming. And the thing is, global warming, no such thing. You know, we've always had changes in weather.
So let me discuss global warming with you. If you've got particles up there that can be microwaved and heated, then that can also be controlled. If there is a place, a certain area where they can heat up the ionosphere, it is going to feel very, very hot where you are. It is going to feel very, very different. And you think about this yourself. Have you had any instances where you've thought, hang on, the sun feels really different. I've got a really different kind of burn. That is actually, I've never felt that before. What you can understand now is that is probably particles already on your skin that's affecting that. And they are heating up the ionosphere using HAARP. I'm so happy I can say all of this. This will not be censored because it is out in the open. I want you now to go back on my channel, look at my HAARP videos, look at my vitamin D videos, look at my geoengineering videos, my aerosol spraying, solar radiation management. Look up David Keith on my channel. All the information is there, and now they're saying they're going to be doing this. Is anyone listening? So they're saying that they are now going to be doing this, even though they're doing it. Now, if we look around and we check what's happened since they've been doing it, lots of people have constantly got coughs. Lots of people have got nanoparticles stuck on their chest. It's deep in their lungs. We've been getting sprayed for many, many years. There's nobody alive that hasn't got it in their skin and their blood and in their whole system. We're talking nanoparticulates of stuff. So tiny. It's going into the nose, straight into the lung, and it's lodging there. And that's happening. There are people that have had a persistent, consistent cough. And they have had that before CV-19. That was around. I know a lot of people that had a persistent cough. And also, research that I did, I spoke to, I think this was back in 2012 or 2013, speaking to an ambulance driver, and he was giving me information saying when there's a heavy geoengineering day, there are a lot more calls, and there are a lot more calls to take people to the A&E because they can't breathe. And it still happens today. I got information from the NHS. I was doing FOIs until they were onto me, and I was putting them up on my channel and showing what the increase was in respiratory illnesses since they've started doing the geoengineering. Now, David Keith, the devil, David Keith turned around and said, he's a geoengineer for people that don't know. David Keith said that this was the cheapest, most effective way to block the sun. That's what David Keith said. So it's the cheapest, most cost-effective way to block the sun. But listen to the rest of it. But we don't know what effect it will have on nature or humans or our ecosystem. That's what David Keith said. So if you're trying to cover the sun and not allow it to shine on Earth, what do you think is going to happen? If you're spraying lots of reflective particulates into the sky that come down, what do you think is going to happen? The human body is not supposed to have that within it. Right, there's a picture I show in this that I do want to show you again.
It's not for man to decide when the sun shines and when it doesn't. And at the moment here, it's a couple of weeks now, a few days into June. We're supposed to be coming into summertime, and the sky out there, total blanket white of clouds. Haven't seen any sunshine all day, and the time now is 4:30 in the afternoon. Haven't seen a ray of sunshine. It's just
it just said what the time was. I looked. It's 11:11. Yay!
And it's it's bright, but there's no sun. I'll quickly show you what I mean.
There's me showing a whiteout there that we've had. Now, let me just forward this. I want to show you the
single bit. It's totally white. Look.
Thing that I found on the BBC.
Nothing, no blue.
I've got a... Let me play this bit. I will put the link to this video underneath, but I wanted to have this playing whilst I made this video today, because this is the video that got me sacked. Right, this one here got me trolled. It got me officially trolled. I had police on my case after this video. I FOI'd an MP, which apparently is not good news. If you send an FOI to your MP, you're either going to be, what was it they said? You're either going to be promoted after 3 months or sacked. But you've put yourself on the radar, apparently. This is what Ian R. Crane said back in the day. Yeah, so this is the picture that was on the BBC, hidden on their website.
Who thought that we were nuts. And at the same time, you've got stories on the BBC News website.
Dropped it.
At the same time, you've got stories on the BBC News website explaining to you what geoengineering does and how much it's cutting the sun away from Earth. And it was this picture here that totally, to be honest, pissed me off, right? So to all you people who think that those who are noticing the planes doing this is number 2, yeah? Atmospheric aerosols. Yeah, that means they've got planes
Chemtrails.
at a certain altitude lower than where a contrail would form, which is what we have all been saying.
Yeah.
And these planes are spraying out chemicals, which are then making the sun bounce off them and go back into space. So they've even got in the picture here, you know, the haze that we see. Look at this. There's the haze. That's where they're spraying. This is a chemtrail. This is aerosol spraying. For all of you who say that it's not happening, this is a picture of geoengineering. All right? They say they're not doing this project, but they are, because we see them on a daily basis. There is no sun in the sky, so it's obviously all being reflected away by all this shit that they're putting into our sky. Right? What's really wound me up about this, in the actual story itself, where they're showing this picture, I've printed it, it's the whole story.
Right. I'm going to leave the link to this. You can watch this yourself, but I did just want to show a bit of this while I'm doing this video today. Right, so this video is really long, but so what, right? If you don't watch it until the end, you're missing out. It's your problem. If you can't concentrate and watch a video right to the end, you need to stop watching TikTok and YouTube Shorts, because you rewired your brain too much now and you fucked it, all right? Basically. Right. So if you search now, just search Biden geoengineering and the stuff that's coming up. Even if you search geoengineering, right? White House is pushing ahead research to cool Earth by reflecting away the sun. Does that sound like anything that we were saying back in the day? Now, to all you mainstream media, I'm vexed right now, to all you mainstream media outlets, The Sun, the Daily Mail, the BBC, all the other red tops, all the other crappy little arse lickers, right, of mainstream media, you kept on writing your stories about us being chemtards and nutcases, okay, because we could see what was going on. What are you going to do now when you start writing these pieces about geoengineering? What happens now? Because you look really, really stupid. You look really stupid. If you were a journalist that were writing these stories, if you wrote the stinking ass Daily Mail, right, the BBC, the Daily Mirror, all of these channels, the Guardian, all of you lot, right, all writing your stories calling us insane, I can go back, I can link all of them to this actual video. What are you going to say? How are you going to print these stories? How are you going to tell us about this information now? After so many years you've been telling us that we're wrong and that we're insane. I've lost 2 jobs because of the truth that I spoke about. So what happens now? Is it okay for them to now officially spray shit in the sky and block out the sun and affect and cause difference to the weather? It is not for man to decide when the sun will shine and when the sun won't shine. It is not for man to decide in which part of the world the sun is going to shine and in which part of the world the rain is going to fall and in which part of the world there's going to be drought here and there's people dying, in which part of the world there's going to be a mega flood here, we're going to kill all these black people here and put them out of the area. Because this keeps happening. Now, I'm angry because this has affected people's lives. People have lost their lives over this. You want to go geoengineer over an area and cause mass floods and landslides and floods, mud floods, people losing their homes and having to be displaced. Is it part of the plan, I wonder? Wow, 19 minutes, nearly 20 minutes, and I don't care because this is my celebration video. I'm celebrating. I want to say as well, listen, I'm going all the way on this one, right? If you still live in my area, because I'm still in the same area, if you still live in my area and you were one of the people that trolled me, there's a few names I'm going to actually mention. Scott Slynn, yeah, from Boots. The guy from Boots. How are you, Scott? Do you still watch my channel, Scott? Because I know what you did with your Vince and the guy in Liverpool, everything that happened there. I know it was you, and I know what the people at Boots were doing. Hi, Gav. To the person that gave me the birthday present that had something very nasty in it that made me ill. Hi to you. I know what you did as well. All right, I'm feeling vindicated today. This is my celebratory video, shall we call it, because so much has been said to me that's negative that I just feel vindicated. So they are now going to start doing the geoengineering. They're going to start research on all of this. Now they're going to say they're doing it. The US government is developing a solar geoengineering research plan. White House, what? White House, if you can't beat the heat, reflect it. US needs solar geoengineering research program national. The White House admits it. We might need to block the sun. US sun dimming studies and Biden's new health official. US urged to invest in sun dimming studies as climate warns. Now remember, I also have said to you, HAARP and the heating up the ionosphere is what is causing their global warming. Because they can do this. Scalar waves, everything. It's all on my channel. If you want, guys, go back. When you start seeing those wavy little lines up there and you see the clouds separating and there's these little waves in between separating it all, that's scalar waves. They've got HAARP on. HAARP is on. And they're microwaving it and spreading it across the sky. These are facts, mate. These are facts. Now, shame on you that you didn't notice. Shame on you that when I was talking about it, you were so busy calling me a nutcase that you didn't even look into the fucking sky. And to the bitches that sacked me because I was talking about this and because I did a Freedom of Information Act, fuck you. Plain and simple. That's how I'm going to end this video. I'm going to end this video with a very respectful and a one love and a peace to you. But to everybody that trolled me and gang stalked me, and to the police that were involved, and to everybody that did that, and to everybody that was involved, I want to end this video by saying a very respectful fuck you. Peace out, guys. Mwah.